Welcome to your pipeline section. This is where you're going to be able to create multiple pipelines for your business. Now this could be for tasks, opportunities, sales, and more. So when you first navigate here, I want you to notice this pipelines button. This is where you can see all the different pipelines you have in your organization, and you can even add a new one. So I'm going to create a new pipeline now, and I'm going to give this a name. Now when you're creating a pipeline, you can create two different types. You can create a task pipeline, or you can create an opportunity pipeline. Now the biggest difference is opportunities track dollars. So you can set up a pipeline to track money and sales in your organization. So that's what I'm going to do here. Now when you first create a pipeline, you get 4 default columns. You can come in here and update these. You can also rearrange them, and you can even add custom lanes. Now there's a few different ways you can add deals to your pipeline. The first way might be manual. You could be working your pipeline and adding things that you need to do. So I might need to call Joe Smith. So once I create an item on my pipeline, I can progress this throughout the pipeline by just dragging and dropping. I can also click on this to open up the opportunity details. Here I can set the dollar amount for the value, probability percent of closing, the source of this lead, where it came from, and I can even relate this to a contact. Now sometimes you're doing sales where you might have multiple people involved with a deal, so you could even relate this to multiple contacts at once. And you can delete that as well. You can add descriptions, notes, tags, and even set visibility. This can be visible to everyone on your team or just you. Once you've updated this, go ahead and click Save. I can also update the opportunity and set the desired close date. So let's say I want to set this to close on Monday. I'll save that. And now I can filter my pipeline based on a calendar view. So I can see what's due to close soon. You can also use the filters on the top to filter deals in your pipeline based on colors, statuses, categories, and even who it's assigned. Now the colors don't have any significant meaning, so you can use them for anything you want in your business. So red could signify a hot lead or a lead that's falling through the cracks, whereas green may signify a deal that you think is guaranteed to close. Now with the task pipelines, they're very similar to the opportunity pipelines. The main difference is you're not going to have the dollar amount. So let's create another task right here. Call Joe. So this is going to look very familiar to you, just missing the probability of closing and the dollar amount. And so once a task is completed, you can just check this box and it disappears from your pipeline. Now there's many other different ways you can trigger tasks on your pipeline as well. Let's say you have an automation flow, and that flow is connected to a form. You can come into the flow and use the pipeline step. Let me show you an example. And so in the flow builder, I'll be able to search for pipeline, and I'll get the create pipeline item step. On here I can specify the pipeline I want to create this opportunity or task on, and I can even specify who it's assigned to. I can assign it to a specific user, the owner of a contact, or randomly select from a list of users here. I can even randomly select from users with a specific tag. So if I have users in my system, let's say a sales team, and those users all have the tag sales team, I could pick from that list here. Let's go ahead and just create one of these now. So once you drag your create pipeline item step, you'll want to connect it to the step above by dragging the connector. Now you can do other advanced logic in here, such as the wait step. So you can wait for an opportunity or a task in your pipeline to be completed or to change status. So on here I can monitor a specific pipeline and I can wait for all items in the pipeline related to this contact, or any item related to this contact, or all items created in this workflow to be completed. So here I'll select, I'm going to wait for all items created in this workflow, which is the one pipeline item above, and here I'm going to wait for 3 days. I'm going to go ahead and click Save. I'm going to connect this to the step above, and now I got this step waiting for this pipeline item. And this pipeline item is either going to be complete or it's going to go to timeout. And so this is great because sometimes you have situations where you might create a task for someone on your sales team to call a hot lead. And I may want to specify the timeout on this to be less. Maybe I say they get 3 hours to call this hot lead, or 1 hour. So I can say if they don't call this lead, if the task is not marked as completed within 1 hour, then it's going to continue down this timeout branch. And here, I might assign that to a particular user, or a different user. This way I can make sure that no opportunities or tasks slip through the cracks. I could also do something like send an SMS. Maybe I want to ping the salesperson to follow up with that lead, if they haven't done so within that 1 hour. So there's lots of great customizations you can do in the Flow Builder to build out the process that makes sense for your pipeline. And of course, every flow that you create in here can be triggered many different ways. This can run automatically when a form's submitted, it can be triggered manually, and much, much more. You can learn more details about the flow in our other video in the flow section. And now I want to show you one other way you can create opportunities and tasks in your pipelines, and that's when you're inside the database. So let's say you're talking with a customer or exchanging emails with a customer. So you may have their contact open. On here, you can always click the plus button to add a new opportunity or task to the pipeline related to this contact. So I'll click on the plus button. I'll be able to select the board I want it to show on, type in a quick title, and I'm good to go. So this wraps it up for our quick overview of the pipelines. Now it's time for you to start going in here and exploring and creating all the new pipelines you need for your business.